Hello and welcome to the Knitterarium podcast. My name is Ruth. I'm a knitwear designer here in Westmeath in Ireland, where this podcast is coming to you from. Today is Wednesday the 16th of August and this is episode 26. Welcome back if you are a returning viewer. It is always lovely to have you keep coming back. If you are a new to me viewer, welcome. I hope you enjoyed this episode and I hope you stick around. And I appreciate you all taking time out of your day to spend it with me. I have to say that I recorded earlier today and it recorded in segments, and two of those segments downloaded perfectly fine to my computer, but the beginning of the podcast, that segment, it didn't. I don't know where it's gone, and so I'm going to re-record the start of this podcast again. I'm going to try and make it as seamless as possible into what I recorded earlier today without having to do a full re-record of the episode. So I hope you bear with me with that. I also spoke earlier about the trouble I had on Saturday when I recorded, and the need to re-record again today. It seems to be an ongoing issue, so it does. One, I hope is finished this week, or every episode is going to be recorded 2 or 3 times in order to get one. So we'll move on with the admin. The places that you can find me online are on my website, Knitterarium.com. You can also find me on Instagram as Knitterarium, and we have a Ravelry group called Knitterarium. If you search under the groups tab on Ravelry, you will search for Knitterarium, you will find us. And it is in the Ravelry group that you will find any knit-alongs, any giveaways, any chatter, all sorts of things in there is where you'll find all of that. You will also find the show notes for this and all the other episodes, and you will also find the show notes down below, as well as the links to all the places that you can find me. I've started putting the show notes both down below and in the Ravelry group, just to make them easier for people. Let me see what else. In the Ravelry group, we have a knit along currently running. It is our Go Your Own Way shawl knit along. It started on July the 1st and it ends on August the 31st, so we just have a couple of weeks left in it. And I want to show you just very quickly the prizes. I showed them to you last week, but we'll just have a look at them again. This is a project bag. This is one prize, a project bag from Fondant Fibres, and the second prize is this skein of yarn from Alice Yarns. It's this skein of yarn here, and that there is the second prize. Let me see, what else was I to say about that? I've lost my train of thought on this because I'm not quite sure what I said earlier today, and I'm trying to think what did I say. Now I know. If you missed this shawl knit along, don't worry, we do have another shawl knit along starting on the 1st of September. It is running from the 1st of September till the 31st of October, and I will be opening up a chatter thread soon in the Ravelry group for that. Probably by this weekend, so probably by the time this gets uploaded, with my slow internet, probably by the time this gets uploaded to the to YouTube, I will have opened up a chatter thread for the next shawl knit along. So if you missed this one and you want to join in the fun, just pick your favorite Knitterarium pattern, shawl pattern, and join in the fun. Let me see, I think that is all the admin news we have. So we will get comfortable, grab our knitting, and we'll get started with the inside world of Knitterarium. This past week in the inside world of Knitterarium has been a week about meeting deadlines. I spent last weekend working, and the vast majority of this week also I was working to to get some deadlines met. I have one of them done and met, and I have one other design that I need to just meet the deadline for it. And while I can't show you the design itself because they're just a secret for the moment, I can show you the yarn that I'm using. And the yarn that I'm using, one of them is this natural colorway. It's called Natural, and it is Eden Cottage Yarns, Milburn 4-ply. This is 85% BFL and 15% silk. The other color I'm using is this Black Tulip colorway. That will focus. There we go. This Black Tulip colorway. It's quite late in the evening, so I'm hoping that this is going to show up. This is the contrasting color, and again that's Milburn 4-ply, and it's the Black Tulip colorway. They're the two colors I'm using in this one, and I'm hoping by the end of this weekend that I will meet this deadline. That is the hope anyway. Let me see, what else have we been doing? Oh, I can show you the colors of something I will be moving on to. That's what I can show you. Starting new projects is always very exciting, and equally more so when there's something, when it's a pattern and a design you've been planning for a while. And this one I have definitely been planning for a while. So the color palette I am going to be using is these. So we've got, this is some more Black Tulip in the Milburn 4-ply. This is Autumn Fields in the Milburn 4-ply, and then the middle is Coal, and it is in the Titus 4-ply, which is 75% merino and 25% silk. So the two Milburns there, the 85% BFL and the 15% silk. So there's a good bit of silk going on with these. This is my colour palette. And I should be able to, I think I should be able to talk about that one when I start it. I don't think that one is such a secret. We'll see. We'll see when I start it. Maybe not. I think that's all I said earlier. I do know I had to stop to go and pick up my cup of tea, so that's where you'll be picking up again with me now, with the Ruth of slightly earlier. So we'll leave it there, and you can join Ruth of earlier. Sorry about that. I had made some tea to bring over while I was podcasting, and I had left it over on the bench. Tea I'm drinking today is some honey and chamomile. I'm trying this one out to see whether I like it or not. Let's see, we were at the Inside World of Knitterarium. Let's see, what else were we doing this week? I actually think that's all that we were doing. As I said, I was really just focusing on meeting some deadlines. I know I spent one of the days this week on Monday. On Monday I spent it at the computer. I had charting and I had writing to do up, so that really took a full day of that, and I actually didn't get picking up my knitting at all on Monday. So by yesterday I was really wanting to get the needles in my hand. It's amazing how when you don't knit even for one day, how you can miss it so much. So that's what happened. That's really what's been happening. I know I have to spend another day or two this week writing up some other patterns, so I'm hoping to get to that, but they shouldn't take all day. There will be knitting. There will be knitting at some point in those days. And that's really all that I have for the Inside World of Knitterarium. I will possibly know next week when the Wildflower Honey sock pattern will be released. I want to just check some dates and stuff on that first. I was just trying to think of different dates and days, but I should have more information on that for you for next week for that pattern. So if you are keeping an eye out for that, I will let you know as soon as I can. I think we will move on into what's on my needles. I have no finished objects for you, so we know what's not on my needles, so we'll just move on with what is on them. In my gorgeous little, isn't this beautiful? It's so bright and sunny, and compared to the day that we have outside at the moment, which is wet and quite windy and not very nice, it's nice and sunny. Because I had deadlines to meet, I also needed to knit a second toe up wildflower honey sock. The first one is knit. I will show it to you here now. This is the first one. So this is the first one here. That one is finished, and I need to just get the second one done. So when I finished my last pair of my dearest loveliest Elizabeth socks, I decided I would move on. I would move this into my sock knitting time so that I could get it done while still meeting my deadlines. Now the yarn I'm using is this beautiful Rose Garden. This is by the Wool Barn. This beautiful, and it's beautiful natural speckled yarn with pinks. You'll see pinks here and greens and yellows, and it's just fantastic. That is the contrasting color I'm using, and then for the main color I'm using this Summer Harvest, which is by Eden Cottage Yarns. This is the Oakworth. This is the Oakworth, which is 100% New Zealand Polworth wool, and that is Summer Harvest. Now I've gotten a small amount done. I got this done, I think I managed to only get this done Saturday morning, I think was the only first time I got near this. So this is the toe. I have the toe complete of this sock in the contrast. So I'm ready to start on the foot with this. I'm using my Knit Pro Zings 2.25s for this. On that. Yeah, I'm using my 2.25s now. I do know that for the patterning here, because some people need to go up a needle size for that. But all the details of that will be in the pattern once it's released. I don't need to. My gauge on that is fine, and it fits me. So I don't need to, but I do know that some do. But there will be a note about that in the pattern. Because I do know a few testers found it a little bit tight. But going up a needle size will take care of that. So it's not really anything too major. So it's not. So that is the sock that I have on the needles. It's just one. I'm going to finish that up. As I said, I needed to get that done. The next project on my needles, in my absolutely gorgeous Alice in Wonderland font fibre bag. I love this bag. This is one of my favorite bags, and it's pretty much always in use, this bag, because it's a great garment sized bag. So it is. If I hold it back here a little bit, it's a great garment sized bag, and in here is my garment. Okay, so the garment I'm knitting, here we are. This is the Grace cardigan by Jane Richmond. That's it there. It's a paid for pattern, so I don't want to be showing you any of the pattern. Now, the yarn I'm using is this beautiful Autumn Fields yarn, Milburn 4-ply from Eden Cottage Yarns. That's it there. It's this is the 85% BFL, 15% silk, and it's beautiful and smooth. And this colorway is autumn feels. Now, I forgot to put a progress keeper on where I was last week on it, so I'm not sure how much I've knit this past week, but considering I spent most of the time trying to get working on my deadline pieces, I got some, maybe not a whole lot, but I got some done. So this is the front, this is the sleeve, and this here is the front. There we go. That's what it's like. It's a bit bunched up already on the needles, but you'll see I'm working on the lace patterning part at the top back and the top front. Isn't it beautiful? This is a really enjoyable knit. I'm just loving the knit on this. It is so relaxing, so it is, and just it's lovely. I'm really enjoying it, and even though I'm on the patterning part, it's simple and straightforward and so easy to follow that it's just becoming a wonderful garment to knit, and I'm really enjoying working on it. And I'm expecting that once I get deadlines met and out of the way, that I will be spending a good chunk of my free time working some more on this. And I know when I finish on the patterning part, it's just plain stockinette. So that's just going to be lovely. That's going to be great TV knitting, so it is then. Apart from a bit of shaping along the way, it'll be, you know, it'll be a great TV knitting project. I am knitting this on my 4mm high sharps. I had to go up to a 4mm to get gauge with my yarn, so I did. And I could have maybe reworked the numbers with the, I think it was a 3.5 that was recommended with the gauge, but I just didn't get gauge with it. So I went up to a 4mm because in my personal knitting, I just want to knit. I don't want to have to think about taking notes and weighing yarn and measuring and all of that. I do that all week with design work, that once it comes to the weekend and I am knitting on these, my personal projects, I just like to sit and knit. I don't want to have to think about making a note and weighing yarn, and I will if I have to. It's not that I won't, I will if I have to, but at that stage I just want to relax and I want to just switch off, and I want to just enjoy the whole process of knitting. And yes, I do want to enjoy the product at the end. That's very much what I want also, but I want to just really enjoy the process of it as well, and I want to relax to it. So that's why I would just prefer to meet their gauge and just knit. So that's what I'm doing. Now, the last project on my needles, housed in my very summery Hawthorn Cottage bag, is my Grania shawl. This shawl I am knitting as part of our knit along, the Go Your Own Way shawl knit along, and Grania is on the mannequin in the background, and I am knitting another version of that. Excuse me, I seem to be going a wee bit hoarse. I don't think it's from all the talking I've been doing. Yeah, oh no, not really. I am knitting a two-colour version of this. I am knitting the garter sections in this beautiful Titus 4-ply from Eden Cottage Yarns. Now the Titus 4-ply is 75% merino and 25% silk, so it is really soft and silky smooth. It's beautiful. This is Rambling Rose, and then for contrast, and it's a subtle contrast that I've gone for, I am using this Briar Rose. So that's the two of them together. This is the Rambling Rose, and then the Briar Rose here. And they're just, so they're the color change on them is extremely subtle, and that's what I wanted. Now, the Gráinne shawl is beaded. And when I started beading, these are, I'll show you my beads. These are the beads I'm using. If they focus, they will. These are the beads I'm using. So they're quite a strong pink compared to both yarns. And I didn't want the color of the beads overpowering the look I was after with the shawl. So what I decided to do, if I can get up close enough here. Okay, so you'll see I worked the garter sections in the Rambling Rose, and then for the lace I'm using the Briar Rose. And on the first and last lines of the lace sections, I have added the beads. So you see I've added the beads just to the first and just to the last, on the last. And then I've left in between free of beads. And so that's the second. And then you'll see I'm into the second lace section, and I've added just the beads here to the start of it, and I'm just working my way through the rest of the lace. I think I'm nearly finished this lace section, so I think I'm nearly at the stage of needing to add another row of beads to that there. So that is that's what I'm doing. So I am, let's see, it's a bit bunched up on the needles at the moment, so we'll try and spread it out. So this is what it looks like at the moment. And I'm really pleased with how this is going. It's just what I was after, so it was. Now, I wanted to speak about the beads for a moment. I have been talking with Grace from Babel's Travelling Yarns podcast. You should definitely check out Grace's podcast. It is so fun. It's so fun watching her. I really enjoy it, so I do. But she asked me about using beads, and the method, I wanted to speak to you just for a moment about the method I use for adding beads. I use a crochet hook. Now there are as many ways to add beads as there are to knit. None is any more right than another way. It's just whatever makes you comfortable and whichever method you like. I use a crochet hook. That's the method I like for adding beads. And the crochet hook I use is this 1mm. I think this is a clover one. It's a 1mm anyway, number 6. And we'll try and get that to focus. You'll see it's a just a tiny one. Now on the 4-ply yarn, I tend to use a size 6 round bead or a size 5 triangle bead. I am using, on this Gráinne, I am using, these are a size 5 triangle bead, and they just hook in perfectly onto the crochet hook. So all I tend to do is just put the bead onto the hook, we'll see if this will work. I'm not sure if it'll work. I'm at the wrong angle. I should be turned around. So all I would do is hook it round the stitch like that. Now I've dropped the stitch. Oh, this might not work. So there's the stitch on the hook with the bead, and I just pull if you can see that there, I just pull it through and the bead is on it. And that's just all. That's it. It's as simple as that. It does take a little longer. It's an extra step for every stitch that you're adding a bead to. I won't lie, it does take, it's just an extra step with each stitch. The beads on my designs, I never ask for them to be pre-strung. So I never ask you to take your ball and put all your beads on and knit that way. That sounds, I wouldn't beat that way. So I don't expect you to. The beads are added either before or after the stitches are worked. So if you are adding the beads, and it'll tell you whether they're added before or after. Generally, I tend to design that they're added after the stitch is worked. You just, as I said, just whatever method you want, just pop the bead onto the stitch and off you go. It does take a little longer, but I think the benefits of it, if you've decided to use beads, are worth it. And excuse me, you do find your own rhythm with it. You do settle down and find your own rhythm with it. So I would, if you've been on the fence about will I, won't I try some beads, I hope that has cleared it up a little bit for you. As I said, it wasn't a terribly great demonstration of adding beads, but it might just show you that it's not as hard as you might think. And adding beads to garments adds, not only do they catch the light as you're wearing your shawl, in particular shawls or any garment, they'll catch the light, but they add a certain weight to your garment. And certainly with shawls, it helps them to just sit. So it does. They tend, because they have that little extra weight, they tend to just sit where you put them. Now I wanted to show you actually where my beads are on this. See this little, it's a little shallow tray. It's in the shape of a leaf. Not sure if you can see it. This was a gift, this little dish, from some very dear friends of mine. And so I tend to just tip out onto it some beads, so that it's nice and shallow, so that I'm able to just pick them up, and my crochet hook is able to just sit nice and keep it all together in one place. And that tends to just sit beside me as I'm working. So I just wanted to show you the beads, and I wanted to speak about them just briefly on them. As I said, it was I have been speaking with Grace about beads, and I know that she's beading one of her current projects at the moment with them. So that's just what that just is what made me just think about. And because I do use beads in certain designs. Now, if you don't want to use beads, you don't have to. Just work the stitch as directed, and just leave off adding the bead and just carry on. And it is the same design. You know, it's whatever suits. It's whatever suits you. But just if you had been on the fence, will I, won't I? It looks, or maybe you just thought it looked a bit more difficult and a bit more fiddly than you thought. I wanted to just talk about it. And as I said, there are a few other different ways and methods of attaching beads. So by all means, experiment, find the method that suits you and makes you comfortable, and go with it. There is no right or wrong way. So I think with that is all of the projects I have on my needles. We will move on into Treasure Trove. I wanted to show you some yarns that I have gotten for, I think I'm going to use these for our next knit along, when I decide what pattern I'm going to work them into. I haven't decided on a pattern, so that's all we'll say on that. I haven't decided on the pattern, but the yarns I do have are, I got some more Eden Cottage yarns. At this stage, you're probably not surprised. If you're a regular viewer, you're probably not surprised that I got more Eden Cottage yarns. Their colours suit me. They suit what I'm about. I like them. And there are plenty of really talented indie dyers out there, and I love all the work that they do. But when it comes to projects and the colours I choose, I just find that Eden Cottage yarns tend to have what I need. That's not to say that I don't try other dyers. I do, and there are lots that I do try. So anyway, we get back to the yarn. That was just a tangent. This is, let me see, what is this one called? Oh, Wild Orchid. Look at this, isn't it fantastic? So there's these beautiful, there's like these little hints of this kind of like a biscuity colour and kind of like a natural cream, and then there's these pinks and dark purples. Look, oh, this is just fantastic. I love this colour. This is just beautiful. This is Wild Orchid. It is tight as 4-ply, so it is 75% merino and 25% silk. So it is really, really smooth. Oh, it's lovely. Oh my gosh, I just love it. To go along with that, and to contrast, I got this. This is Rosebud, again in tight as 4-ply, and it is a very, very subtle speckled pink. You will see that there is little hints of colour, just ever so gently hinted throughout it. It's very gentle. I seem to be on a bit of a pink kick. Maybe it's because I'm missing my pink hair. I don't know. They just seem to be pink at the moment. I don't know. So these are the two together. And as I said, these are, I will use these in the next shawl knit along. I'm just not sure yet of what pattern, but I wanted to show those to you. And that's all I have in Treasure Trove. That was extremely good. You may have seen on my Instagram feed that I had a few different colorways that I had picked up because I'm working a season or two ahead. So while we're coming into the autumn, I'm somewhere in spring for design work, so I am. So you may have seen those on my Instagram feed, and as I said, I am the most active on Instagram, so you will find me there quite a good bit, probably more than I should be. So that's all I have for you in Treasure Trove. We'll move on into Chitty Chit Chat. Chitty Chit Chat. What have we been doing this past week? We've really been just getting ready for back to school this past week. We had uniforms to pick up, and we had school books and all that entails. You know, at the start of the summer holidays, I really thought we had ages, and it looks like such a long time. And now we are halfway through August, and we have the remainder of this week and next week, and that's it. Then the bigger children are back to school, and then the smaller ones at the end of the week, following next week, that week, yeah. So yeah, I can't believe we're that far. We'll be back to school routines then, so we will. Oh, a lot of early mornings and a lot of clock watching. But anyway, that's part of it. This is actually my second time to record episode 26. And it is not my usual recording day either, you may have noticed, because it's a Wednesday. I did hope to get this done on Monday. Then I had quite a good bit to do on the computer, as I said, and the whole day went on Monday. I think I finally finished working at about 11 o'clock Monday night. I had a lot it had to get done. Yesterday I had a dentist appointment, and I had pretty much yesterday afternoon and evening off work. I wasn't at work, so that's why I did so much on Monday, because I was off yesterday. I had to go to the dentist, so that was really enjoyable. It's done. It's finished now, by the way. Cool. So yeah, I did that. I'm sitting here, I'm looking at the pile of school books that's just over there. I I need to cover those, get them ready, and get them off my countertop. That's what I'm looking at, that's what's catching my eye. So that means I didn't record it yesterday, so I'm recording it today. That's for the change date. I did record on my normal day on Saturday. Recorded as normal, it was perfect, it was fine. I downloaded it onto my computer, and when I went to edit, the file was corrupted. So I'm really hoping that when I transfer this to my computer, that it's not corrupted and it's going to be fine, and I'm able to edit it and get it uploaded to YouTube. And I wanted to say a really big thank you actually to all the lovely commenters last week. Commenters, I don't think that's the right word. All the people who commented last week. That might be a better way. It's a longer way, but it might be a better way of saying it. I just wanted to say thank you for your lovely comments. It was really lovely to be back podcasting, and I never thought when I started that I would get to the stage where I would say I missed podcasting, but I did. I really did. I missed it. It's something I have to work at. It doesn't come easy and natural. I'm not sure though that sitting in front of a camera and talking to what feels like yourself ever becomes natural, does it? I don't think so. But anyway, it helps. It actually helps a whole lot, because I forgot to tell you this story last week. About a month ago, I had to give a presentation, and before this it would have been a flat out no. No, I'm not standing up in front of a whole room of people giving a presentation on anything. It would have been just a flat out no. But I was asked to do it, and I thought, oh, okay, maybe. So I did the presentation, and it went fine. It was perfect. Everyone enjoyed it, and I actually enjoyed it too, which was, that was quite something. So it was. But it definitely wouldn't have happened without getting more comfortable sitting and talking. And even though I know you're all watching it, at the moment it just feels like I'm sitting here talking to no one. So it was really lovely reading all your comments last week. So it was, and I'm glad you were happy to see me back. It's sort of. It's sort of, you record them and you put them up and you're hoping that someone is watching, that you're not just wasting your time. So it was nice to know that I wasn't. So thank you very much. That's a bit of a roundabout way of saying thank you, isn't it? But I'm saying thank you. Oh yes, and the hair too. Yeah. Well, of course you've all noticed it wasn't pink. It's hard to miss not having pink hair. It's hard to miss when you have it as well. But yes, thank you. It's a bit of a blank canvas at the moment. I'm not sure what I'm going to get done with it. It does need a little trim. Anyway, for definite. So we'll see. We'll see what colour I'll go. I might put colour in it, or I might just leave it this colour. We'll see. But thank you. I'm glad you like it too. It's a bit of a change from the pink. It's maybe a little bit more normal. So it is, maybe. I'm trying to think now, is there anything else that we did? I know we had my niece's birthday party at the weekend, and we have another family event this coming weekend, so we will be heading off to that as well. And we have a couple of things left to do from the children's summer to-do list. They had a list of things they wanted to get done while we were on summer holidays, and we've gotten most of them done. I think we have 2 or 3 maybe things left to do. So I'm hoping that we'll get another one of those done this weekend or so, and we will be able to cross that off the list. I'm hoping to have all of the things that they had on the list crossed off and done by the time they go back to school. That's what I'm really hoping for. So we'll see how that goes. So I think that really is all I have for Chitty Chit Chat. I want to thank you all for watching. If you liked this video, please hit the like button down there somewhere and subscribe, because that is the only way to be notified of any new uploads to the channel, is if you subscribe, and that is, it's down there too somewhere, that button. Hit it too, please. Thanks. So I wish you all a very happy knitful week, and I will see you all again next week. Happy knitting. Bye.